lacquered this feather, and my original idea was I was going to tie a nymph with it, but I was thinking of trying to incorporate this into a hopper pattern as the wing on a hopper. It'd be nice if I had two, but I only have one right now, so we'll try to incorporate this somehow. That's the goal. That is the goal. So we need us a hook, and then we need to get down here. Let's get kind of a standard hopper hook going. It's a little bit small. Try one size up. Here we go, one size up. All right, so the decisions you have to make, number one, what do you want the body color to be versus the hackle color? And do you want to have the red butt? The traditional Dave's has some red coming out of the backside. I think more as a kind of a tractor. We could alter that. We could change the color a bit and do green. So I'm gonna soft tackle. I guess I'll just strip this off. Try to keep those tips even. Red is good, don't get me wrong. I just want to play around with the colors. Yeah. So we'll get this little bunch of soft tackle in. Kind of coming out the backside. A little artistic flair. That might be too long. But we'll keep it anyway. And then we're gonna tie in a hackle. I'm thinking just grizz, a little bit darker grizz. Undersized. And we'll tie that in just above the soft tackle bunch we did for the tail. And then we will do some body material, a little bit lighter color under the dark. We have a kind of a green theme, so maybe we stick with that. This is a damsel olive, kind of synthetic with a little bit of flash. We'll use this as our base, and then we can blend in maybe this brighter green, semi-seal dubbing, a little bit of that. So we'll blend these two, get us our color. This is not the best dubbing for a dry fly, but I'm kind of ripping the fiber smaller so I can get a tighter rope. And then if we distribute well, lightly, we should be able to get the rope that we want. Okay. That looks good. So we have the length, and now I'm going to tighten it up. Just rolling in one direction, tightening the dubbing rope. You could use wax if you wanted to, but I don't think it's necessary. That's pretty tight. Not perfect. It's quite a long rope, so a little bit difficult to manage. I want to get the first wraps behind our hackle. A few. I'm using the rotary function of the vise to try to position those wraps behind the hackle. Once I get it going, I can then, use the bobbin to wrap. But it's a long rope. A little bit difficult to manage. There we go. There we go. I'm going to go up high toward the eye and then stop there. Let's go ahead and trim this out a little bit. Just cleaning it up. You could leave it, no problem. I'm gonna counter wrap with our grizzly hackle. You could use a longer hackle and then clip it, but my hope is I don't have to clip this. That's my hope. And we'll stop there. Tie that off. Trim it out. This is another clipping situation. So to have our wing lying flat, you might want to clip the hackle. But again, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to try to run with it. I like this because the underside is this lighter color, the top side is darker. So if you wanted a darker silhouette, I kind of think the lighter silhouette is better. What I'm struggling to decide is if I fold it and then tie it in like this, or if I trim it out. And I kind of think trimming it out's the best. I want a good width, so I'm going to clip it here and then create little angles. A little bit more little angles so it peaks just a touch, kind of like that. That's not perfect, but that's basically what I'm going for. Slightly longer than the hook bend, not as long as our tail. Then have it nice and flat. First thread wrap should be less power. I want it to kind of curve just like that, and then we can start cranking down once it's got that curve. Yeah, so the hackle is pushing down the grizzly, but maybe it's pushing it too much. Maybe it would be better to just kind of trim it out. I'm torn. I don't know what to do. But we'll keep it. We'll just run with it. We'll go ahead, secure our feather. Then we'll trim it out. This could be a caddis pattern, stonefly pattern. But we're gonna do the hopper, Dave's hopper, because Dave's hopper is the greatest fly ever invented. Just kidding. It's a good one though. We need legs, pheasant tail legs, or hackle stem legs. I'm gonna do the pheasant. So we'll pull, I want them beefy. That's five fibers from our pheasant tail. And then we'll fold them, loop them, then pull those butt sections through and grab a hold Maybe we need our hackle pliers for this. So loop. Position those butts. Hackle pliers, grab the butts, pull them through, and then so we have our knot, and we want to position the knot in a good spot so we get a nice leg bend. We lost one of our fibers, that's okay. That's good leg bend right there. And we'll tie that in one side, nice and tight. Get rid of that stray. Repeat, try to get the same size length, same size leg. 5 fibers, loop it around. Bring up the butts, and then pull them through with either your fingers or some hackle pliers. My fingers are pretty fat, so. But, oh, we got it. Got it with just the fingers. And then give them a knot, position, oh, we lost it. Why? Don't let go. And knot them up. That's a good leg. And then position on the side. Tie it in. Oh, it's a little bit cocked to the side. I'd rather that be pointing down a little bit more, so I'm going to try to adjust it. Yeah, that's better. But now it's a little short. Draw it back. Perfect. Let's trim out this excess material. Got some rogue hackles. Yeah, maybe we should have trimmed that hackle down. I don't know. The head is the interesting part of this pattern. It's a deer hair head or elk hair. So we'll use some of this little bit darker hair. I want to incorporate some of the hair into the wing, so I'm gonna need a pretty healthy bunch. Give it a clip. Pull out some of the shorts, and then we need to pick out the under fur because we don't want that. Pick out the under fur. There's a lot of under fur. And then because we want it part of the wing, we need to stack it. So get your a tube or your stacking tool, and then stack your hair. And pull it out. I'm going to give it one last flick to knock out some of those shorts and loose ones. One last run through to get some of that under fur out. Now I'm going to measure. I think about there would be good. I only want this wing part to be on top, and this is just aesthetic. There's no function here. So I'm gonna, the thread is quite weak. I might not be able to get it good tension on this. The thread is quite weak. I might break the thread. Okay. We got quite a bit of tension on there. I'm going to trim this out. And I'm going to use these butts for the bottom. And then I'm gonna advance our thread a little bit, hopefully. Actually, before we advance, so I need to decide if I want to do another clump of hair. I have the space for it, but is it worth it? I don't know. I am, though, gonna take a small clump and fill in this backside with the butt of the hair is hollow. The tip is a little bit more dense, and that's why we could flare the bottom, but we couldn't really flare the top. So I'm going to fill in that gap with these butts and flare it a bit, and we can trim that out, and it will hopefully kind of look like one tie-in, but it will have some variation, color variation. Yeah, we're going to need one more clump. Kind of moving the hair around, getting it situated. I'm gonna do a light pack. Light pack. Clearing out the real estate for our last tie-in. Last tie-in is not gonna be much. Quite a small bunch. Pull the shorts, clean up. We don't need to stack it, but we want to tie in kind of midpoint there, getting the nice hollow part of the hair. Loose wrap, tighter wrap. Oh, it didn't spin. That's okay though. We didn't clean it very well. Maybe that's the reason it didn't spin. Let's advance our thread and tie it off. Little bit of a thread head, then we can tie it off. Normally you would use the lacquered turkey or pheasant tail for the wing back, but we used the feather, lacquered feather. And it will come apart, you know, the fibers will start to separate, but hopefully the stem can maintain. Yeah, it's already starting to come apart, which is fine. Trim it out. We got a little razor. This one is a little old, not quite so sharp, but we'll start working on the underside first. Try to get a shape and working it back. And then we can work the sides. I'm going to work it from not from the eye, but a little bit off the eye, creating a blocked head. Because that's the unique shape of the Dave's Hopper head. It's kind of this block-shaped head. And working the razor back, working on the side. You could do this with scissors as well. You don't need a razor blade for this cut. That's the shape we want. We got some longies. Take those off, and then we got let's check out that bottom. And try to slope down just a touch. Clean up the sides. Come back over the top. Okay. We have the general shape. Now we need to thin it out, make it, cut it down to size. That's what we got to do. We'll just start up top here, come on the sides. Got some longies, we'll knock those out. Come back around, fluff it out. Trim it up. Clean up the head. The face is looking weird to me. We're losing our face. We're getting rounder. It'd be nice to have kind of hard edges on the side, but the reason we're losing the face is because the hair we tied in was not ample. It wasn't sufficient, so it's quite thin on the head. But I have a trick for that. I want to slope down a bit, because that's the classic Dave's Hopper shape. It has kind of a slope to it. Then I'm gonna press it and press it. And press it. And press it. All right, the width is good. The top is not, but the top is the least important part. It's not terrible. So now I will show you how to cheat, which obviously includes super glue. Toothpick. The first thing we want to take care of is the front. So yeah, that was a terrible angle. I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on our toothpick, and I'm gonna roll it in the front. Just roll it up, creating a face, and then solidifying that head, that thread head we wanted. If you do this well enough, you can maintain the shape of the head. Without saturating the fly, ruining the buoyancy. Let's go ahead and clean up a little bit more with our razor blade. Working down, down, down. Into that wing section. Working down, down, down. Perfect. Getting better. Here's a hair that I want to knock out, but it's kind of tucked away, which is okay. Clean up that side. Down to the collar. Yeah, so there's a little hump there. The soft hackle tail isn't playing as well as I'd hoped. Red might be just the best option there. I think we should stop while we're ahead. Clean it up a bit. And call it good. Not my best Dave's hopper, but the silhouette will work. You could trim out, maybe it makes sense to trim these hackles down. I'm gonna leave them, but that might be an on the water alteration, just knock those hackles off. But it'll be buoyant and it has the right silhouette, size. Color might be weird, but green is the natural color. So let's take a look at our Dave's hopper. Yeah, I'm sorry about the focus. Not very good. We did, instead of red yarn on the butt and yellow yarn for the body, we did some soft hackle and then a blended dubbing rope, synthetic, with a little bit of flash. We palmered it with a grizzly hackle, but we didn't trim it. And then we used a lacquered feather for the back, not turkey or pheasant tail. And then we built up the head a little bit more than normal, accentuating the wing, and then trimming out the head as best we could. It's not great, but we did as best we could. What I'm concerned about is this kind of space, the head and then the hackle. I think you might want to trim out these hackles. The original pattern trims out the hackles, but it'll work. It will work. All right, I apologize about the focus. Maybe we'll have to do this one again. Adios.